Okay, we're live. All right, hi guys. How are you all doing? I was just chatting to Zaheer. He'll be along in a sec. I think it's just going to be the two of us tonight. There may be other people dropping in, but we have no plans for that. So it's probably just going to be taking questions from you guys. If you have anything you want to chat about, anything you want to get off your chest. Oh, hang on. I've got another window open. So, right, let's have a look in the chat. We've got Darren in there. Hi, Darren. Chelsea. Oh, Rebecca's in there. It's Rebecca's birthday. So everybody say a big happy birthday to Rebecca. That's Z's other half. Andrew, Twin Red Dragons Brewery. That's not easy for me to say. Yep, happy Christmas to you too. Is everybody ready for Christmas? I'm feeling like it's rapidly approaching and I'm not quite there with presents and stuff. Yeah, lots and lots of happy birthdays for Beck in the chat. Apparently they went out and bought loads of cheese today. So I think Z and Beck will be just chowing down on cheese tonight. Yeah, lots of people chatting in there. Andy, David, Ryan. Okay, so like I say, Z should be along shortly. Oh, there he is.
I've been here for ages.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I've been here for ages. I think I was muted. I was eating chips.
You're really quiet.
Am I?
It might be my volume. Hold on.
I had to turn volume down a bit. If it is quiet, I can change it.
No, that's okay now. My volume was right down. That's cool.
Oh, okay.
Let us know in the chat, actually, if you can hear both of us. Oh, I've got an echo now.
Have you got it playing in the other window or something?
No, I did have. I turned it off. But yeah, there's lots of wishes for your good wife.
Yeah, I just saw Dad says I really know how to spoil her. Well, it was expensive cheese. If that counts.
It looked nice. The picture I saw looked good.
Yeah. It was.
You treat your missus well, mate.
Yeah, that's what she wants. That's what she gets. I'm not going to argue and be like, oh no. Yeah.
So how are you?
Good. Yeah, good. Been out and about again today. Narrowly avoided getting stuck in like a 2-hour traffic jam on the way back from auction. Which was really good.
So there was an accident behind you or something, or what?
I don't know what it was. When I was driving to the auction, I saw like a queue, like 2 junctions long, and so on the way back, luckily, like the sat nav, diverted me. So I mean, it was still a bit of traffic, but it wasn't bad.
Apparently, we do have a slight echo. Is that echo still there, guys, or is that solved? Can someone let me know?
Yeah.
Oh,
Evening, everyone. By the way, did you hear it?
Yeah, I'm gonna mark I'll put my volume down.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's better if I'm nearer or further away.
I don't know.
I think that's solved.
Headphones is what I normally do. So.
Yeah, I'm never that bloody organised. It normally works okay.
It normally works fine, exactly. Yeah, not a problem. So, saying hello to everyone. There's 60 people in the chat already. Wow. And as they'll all be glad to know, as usual, there's no specific topic. Is that right?
No, I did think of one sort of loose topic.
Oh yeah.
Which we could try and chat about. I do have an echo. Damn it.
You do.
I don't know how I solved that.
Oh, but by the way, like I'll tell a little story while you're doing that then about my auction experience today. Yesterday on Caroline's chat, I said how we didn't actually make it out. We didn't make it in time for the actual auction viewing. So when I went there today, I only got there just in time for the start.
Oh, I just spilled my drink everywhere all over my desk. Carry on.
I know.
Oh shit.
Well, whilst Nick is sorting himself out there, I'll just talk about like my auction experience, I guess. It was pretty crazy, really. Like yesterday, I don't know if some of you guys may have heard that we were meant to be viewing an auction, and for one reason or another, we just didn't make it in time for the viewing. So we decided to, like, just leave it, and I'll just go this morning. I turned up at the auction just in time for the start of the auction, and of course they don't like you viewing whilst the auction's going on. So I was trying to have like a quick shifty look at stuff that was due to come up, and they weren't having much of that anyway. So I had someone come up to me and go, "Oh, there's no viewing during the auction," and so I had to just bid blind. And like I only bid on a couple of bits because some of the stuff I was interested in that was obvious to everyone, so it went for silly money. Even though this auction is not like an online offline job, it's just offline only, but people were willing to pay really high money. But I got a couple of things, and it turned out I did okay on a couple, like on one of them. It's a bit of a funny one. It's like an old cine film editor, like a film editor thing. Now, what's weird about it is the same thing is sold for as little as a tenner, but it's sold for as much as 45 quid. And I paid like £6 for that and a turntable, which I'm going to sell separately as well. So I did okay out of it by just going there unprepared, but it really did show the difference in preparation, really, like how important it is to be prepared rather than not being.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it really did mess in a way. It really did mess with how it kind of worked out.
Well, I think I'm sorted now. Sorry about that, guys.
That's all right. Okay.
It's gone over a load of electricals down there. So if there's a big bang, then that's just me getting fried. I think we're okay. I managed to drench a load of receipts. So the tax man's going to like this one.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Covered in squash. Oh, I hate it when I do that. What a mess. It's gone all over my keys. My keys are drenched.
Oh god, that's not good. What was it that you spilt? Was it
It's lemon and lime squash.
Oh.
But yeah, it made a work mess.
Might be a bit sticky as well then.
It will be. Right, so that is dealt with. So you picked up a few bits then, or not many in the end?
Yeah, I only bid on a couple of lots really because I didn't want to stay for too long.
Yeah.
I needed to wait and get back and pick up Beck as well, and like so I picked up a couple of lots, but like I picked up like this film editor viewer thing, like a 8mm film splicing and viewing thing by Prinz, and it came with like a turntable. I paid £6 for both those items.
Yeah, I heard you say that sounds good because turntables go for good money now.
Well, the turntable depends. It could go for good money. I think I've seen one go for about 30 at auction, and I've seen some go for a bit higher in the Buy It Now. So I'll probably do okay on the turntable. The editor, like I said, was a bit of a strange one. Someone has gotten £45 for one, and like I said, there've been people that have sold it for like a tenner. So it's just that's that. The other thing I went on was I did get a little bit gutted on because I was wondering why it didn't go up, and I realized I bought like a steering wheel for an Xbox One, and they go for good money normally. But obviously I just kind of went on it without really seeing it from close up, and it didn't have a power supply, and it looked like a dog had mauled it. But there is a saving grace. I only paid £5, and I reckon no one's done it yet, but I reckon I could sell the pedal section separately.
Yeah,
because sometimes people they get damaged or whatever, and it might
absolutely. Somebody would have broken their pedals, and they don't want to pay the full whack for the whole thing.
So that's what I'm hoping. Yeah,
I'm sure you do, all right?
Yeah.
Someone Silver Pirates just said all that sticky tissue around the laptop. It's going to look dodgy when Andrea comes home. all this in the bin. What have you been doing, Nick? Yeah, it does look dodgy, I must admit. Oh dear. Well, today I didn't have much of an exciting day. This old thing is finally going in the bin, and I've invested in a laser printer, and oh my god, I love this thing already.
About time, Nick.
I know. I've just been eking that thing out. It's always been on my list of things to do, but while it was working, I couldn't be asked. I should have done it years ago, but they're so cheap now. I got one for 50 that should have been 80. it was set up within about 2 minutes. It set itself up. I downloaded a bit of software, and I just love it. So quick,
Perfectly,
so easy. Yeah. All right, let's see what's going on in the chat. Bloody hell, loads of chat. So there's loads of people in there. Hi, Diana, Steve. Your good wife is in there, Z. Amanda. Let's see if there's any questions yet.
Yeah, we don't have a specific topic. So.
Aaron said, hi guys, found a Britain's Got Talent buzzer for 99p today. Thanks to Nick. I knew it was worth picking up. Yeah, I've not seen any since I had them way back. It was like 2 years ago now.
I've never picked one of those up. There's so many things I've yet to pick up that I've seen in the Facebook group. Never picked up those Britain's Got Talent buzzers. I've never picked up Operation Genesis. I've never picked up, oh God knows what else is there that I've never picked up. Hero Quest, something I probably won't ever pick up. I've never had an Operation Colditz board game. Just, crazy.
Yeah, you'll find them one day. Just keep looking.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's just, there's plenty out there to look for, isn't there? So kind of okay that if you don't find them, it's not really that big a deal. I don't find it that,
Exactly. I was going to say what I was saying before I threw squash everywhere was a vague topic I thought might be an interesting discussion and see what other people's take on this is. And that is how important it is, particularly as a self-employed person, to have a positive attitude, just in general. I think way more so when you're self-employed than if you work for somebody else, because we all know when you're in a 9-to-5 job, you can go in and just do 50%. You can go in and you can hate your job and still get by. But I don't think that that doesn't work if you're self-employed. You know what I mean? You have to be positive and enthusiastic about what you're doing. Otherwise, it's your life and you're going to hate it. You know what I mean? You can't switch off when you're self-employed and just go through the motions. So
yeah, definitely. I think that's such an important thing to touch on. I mean, we always talk about picking up things that we love to pick up, rather than just trying to pick up stuff that you see. I mean, I've just reeled off a list of items that I haven't picked up yet, but luckily I'm not particularly fussed about picking those items up either, because they're not necessarily like something that I'm that passionate about, so it doesn't affect me. But yeah, generally it's so incredibly important. Like we've often said that reselling is like a lifestyle, isn't it? And it spreads through other things. Like I like the idea of never paying retail for stuff. Even for myself. Like this cap is a charity shop find for £1. This jumper is from my old job. No, it's my old job. My jeans, my trainers, everything I'm wearing right now is secondhand, and I couldn't change that simply because like I said, it's a lifestyle for me. It really is. It's not about earning like stacks of cash or because if you want to do that, there's plenty of things that you can do towards that, definitely. But I like I'm not big into Amazon. I don't necessarily go after the RA deals. I'm happy to try to do TAT sales, as it were. Like I love that side of it. That's the thing that really keeps me motivated.
More so what I was getting at was the fact that I think half of the battle in what we do is your mental attitude. It is being positive just generally to make this work. Somebody just made a comment which I thought was good. Amanda said that I assume having a mental positive attitude, that played a big part in me giving up my last business. Without going into too much detail, I'd lost the belief in what I did. So if you're not positive about what you're doing and feeling positive and feeling upbeat about it, it's going to be a struggle. And that staying positive and staying confident in what you're doing is key. And it's not easy. That's the other thing. I struggle with it. I have weeks or sometimes months when I have doubted what I've done, but that over time that's become less and less and less as you get used to it, and it just becomes what you do. You know what I mean? You get used to that sort of those doubts that come in. But yeah, I think a positive outlook, if you're going to do this seriously, is so important. It's half the battle, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the difference between it, like I said though, it does carry through in different ways. It manifests in different ways. Like it's that positive attitude of going to one more store, or just popping into that extra charity shop, or or like just doing that little bit extra that you might not do if you weren't that motivated or that passionate about something. And there's been so many times where that's paid off. I mean, like I think a lot of it is like opportunism as well, isn't it? When it comes to the sourcing part of reselling, especially, it's there's no coincidence that like everyone knows that Joe picks up amazing stock. Joe reselling for pennies. Everyone knows Joe's pickups. Like the quality is there week after week, and it kind of frustrates me when I sometimes see comments like, "Oh, it's because he's living in London." He's living in one of the most densely populated areas, if not the most densely populated area of the country. There are probably more resellers per square foot in London than there are anywhere else. So yes, he may have abundance, but he's probably got that much more competition. And yet, week after week, he delivers.
The thing that Joe isn't saying is that, he gets up really early and does a load of eBay work. He probably goes out every lunchtime.
Yeah.
And cracks out a load of places, and he's put the legwork in to find these little honey holes. He's got some places he knows that obviously he's not going to share, where he knows he can rely on stuff, but he had to put the legwork in to find those, and he still has to go week in, week out and put the legwork in. It's not luck every time.
Exactly.
It never is. It's
persistent. Week after week, I mean, yourself, I mean, you're falling over stock, it's not by coincidence. It's, it is by kind of, work ethic.
Just having another check in. Oh, I keep scrolling this chat too far. I saw a question a minute ago. Hold on. Slightly off topic, but do you print out invoices for your eBay orders for your records, or PayPal invoice, or neither? You don't need to. What we do at the end of a tax year is we'll print off summaries from PayPal of our income
from date to date, and it's simpler that way, isn't it?
Yeah, at the end of the year, you can download a load of reports and stuff and just print out everything that you had coming into your business if all of your revenue comes through PayPal. Likewise, through Amazon, you can get reports, and all the money you've moved out of your Amazon account as income, you can get reports on all of that, print it all off, and then there it is in black and white, effectively what you've taken gross in a year. Obviously, then you've got all of your expenses that you do have to keep receipts for, like your, packaging, your postage costs, etc., which is then what you take off. But yeah, you certainly don't need to print off a record of every sale. That would just be crazy. So much paperwork. Steve Green, question. How do you keep yourself motivated? I struggle after doing my 9 to 5. Getting motivated. Yeah, I can imagine that is tough. If you've got a day job like a 9 to 5 like Steve does, and I know unfortunately Steve isn't enjoying what he's doing, is he? Which makes it harder. But then to get home and then find that energy and enthusiasm again, it's got to be tough, because this is all I do, and I sometimes struggle for motivation, and I love what I do. So yeah, I don't know. I find that the community helps me these days. I don't know. Do you have any particular? I know you like the motivational speakers, which I don't really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think like sometimes if you're in a rut.
Oops. I'm dropping shit again.
I suppose if you're feeling like you're in a rut, there are some things you can do. Sometimes it is just about changing like one thing. And then that can lead on to a different change, or to a more drastic changes. I mean, like sometimes you just have to shake things up. I mean, I can't really give proper advice, but I mean, I felt very similar when I was working. I just even sometimes when you're in a job that you don't like, you don't often even have the energy to go and search for a new job, let alone reselling. Like, you often used to hear people saying how much they hated their job, but then they'd still be there a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, because it drained them so much that by the time they got home, all they need to do is unwind. Like, they've taken on so much stress during the day. And I was in that position as well. It would be such like I'd made it and I understand this is again mindset, but I'd made it into an ordeal to go to work. So every day was an ordeal for me, and it was stressful. And I think that's what pushed me in the end to take like a drastic step, which I wouldn't recommend for everyone. It isn't easy to just suddenly say, yeah, I'm not going to do it, but it's working out for me now. After a couple of years, I can say I'm okay.
It's a tough thing to do, isn't it? To build up that much self-belief that I can just say, sod all of that, I'm walking away, I'm going to do it for myself. We've both been there, and I respect anyone that can do it, because it's not an easy decision. It's a big life-changing thing,
don't you? I think you get pushed you to a point, I suppose, where you become a little bit reckless. You become you're looking back on it now, you think, actually, I could have handled that in a more adult way, or a more responsible way or whatever. But at that time, you're not thinking like that, are you? I think, for me anyway, I wasn't thinking like that. I was just like, I've had enough of doing what other people are telling me to do at any cost. I just did
I'll tell you what, though, the few times that I've walked out on jobs and gone things up and I'm going to go and do my own thing, it's been the best feeling ever, every time, without fail. The lead up to making the decision was really, wrestling with my, should I do this, shouldn't I, the financial implications and that, and then making the decision and doing it, I was on top of the world.
Yeah, because it's because you've taken control of the situation. I mean, often in my I mean, again, I'm talking specifically about my experiences because that's all I know. My work experiences in the past, it very much used to be like, okay, it's crap, but what you're going to do, you need the job. And that used to irk me, used to have that attitude of like, management or whoever would be telling you to work late or do this or do that. And you had to do it because what you're going to do, you need the job, you need the money. Yeah. And after hearing that enough times, you say, you know what, even if I do need the money and the job, I don't need this as a whole. And once you take that away, once you stop caring about that hold that I felt, I mean, this isn't for everyone, because some people are more than happy to be in that position and are happy to work and earn a living like that, which is absolutely respectable. It's just, I suppose I just made it into, like I said, such an ordeal in my head. I cannot abide it. I just could not accept it. And that once they don't have that over you, that you need the job, what are you going to do? Then literally it becomes a joke, and then that's it. And then
I hear what you're saying, definitely. Yeah. It's interesting. I was just reading some of this.
Craig Marr has a good comment. He says, think people get distracted too much with Facebook, YouTube, when they should be sourcing, listing, etc. I think there's a balance, isn't there, to be had there, because I think social media can be quite useful, especially when you're doing a job as solitary as reselling. So I think it's definitely got its place. I wouldn't say it's, I'm sure you could resell without being part of any group or without, chatting to YouTube.
Of course you can. We all did before all of this community evolved. But it is a double-edged sword, though, because we found it gives us a social outlet to people that understand what the hell we're talking about. But also, I can easily lose an hour to Facebook when I really don't have the time. I just read Darren just below that comment said, I lost the belief in myself a few times. The community have been a huge help to keep going and become stronger in what I do. It is a constant battle. You'll find that you sort of go through waves of really being confident in what you're doing and believing in what you're doing, and then it waning. And then the next question, what do you do to push your interest or confidence back up when you're down? With me, it sounds ridiculously simple, but it's doing something physical. It's doing an action. It's sometimes as simple as taking the dog out and just that change of scenery or whatever. Or weirdly, I love packaging. So if I've had some orders come in and I'm in a complete funk, I will package those orders, and that will click me out of that whatever, you know, state of mind I'm in, and then I can work from that. It's about achieving something. If you achieve just something small, you then are feeling positive, and you move on to something else and achieve that. But it's getting started. It always stems from starting. That's my difficult bit. Like, I'm not a morning person. Getting going is a nightmare. But once I'm going and I get that momentum, it's fine. So it's just finding something to get me started.
That was Anne Isaac's question, wasn't it? That
yes.
Yeah, what do you do to push your confidence back up when you're down? Yeah, I mean, I think that's quite an interesting way of dealing with it, but it shows that that's like a mechanism, isn't it? In a way, what I found, again, like you said, I do like listening to motivational speakers, and I mean, when I say I like listening to them, I don't listen to them like every day. I don't listen to the new ones. There's like a couple of videos that I've favorited that are from like 1981, believe it or not, like from really old. And because once it's been said, yeah, I know loads of other people have come along afterwards and said the same thing, but if you have to again find what you resonate with. I found this guy called Jim Rohn that I just something about the way he's such a great speaker that it just works for me. So something like that can help. But yeah, I mean, I found recently I've actually been keeping a written list of tasks. So that's been motivating me to do things. And I've noticed very, very obviously the days that I have slacked on writing a list have been a lot less productive than days where I've written a list and to do things to make it real for me. Like, I've got to do this, and even if it's not reselling related, like even if it's just like household chore, even if it's something random, you know, I will put it on the list now.
Yeah, because then you get that I've achieved this thing, and now I'm feeling and now I can move on.
You can look at the list and be like, well, I still did. Yeah, okay, I didn't do that, but I did this, this, and this. So, you know, I think Margaret touched on something really important recently when she said that she figured something out about herself. You know, when she said she gave herself the best advice. I think what she was talking about is she was really hard on herself about procrastinating. And it turned out that she wasn't necessarily procrastinating. She was doing all these other things, which did in the end mean she didn't get as much listed reselling wise, etc. But you know, it's so much better when you've got in black and white, you know, what you have achieved. So even if you have a day where maybe you didn't list as much as or at all or whatever, but you did all these other things around it, which in the end will benefit you. You know, that could be keeping up to date with your taxes. That could be keeping, you know, like sorting your stock room out. That could be anything.
Yeah. Another thing that I need to do more often, because it really works for me, is to literally stop and look around and realize the position I'm in and how much I do love what I do. Because sometimes we can lose sight of that. It's bizarre, but sometimes I can lose sight of the fact that I do what I love. I've created kind of my ideal job around me. And in that sense, lucky is the wrong word because I made it happen, but I'm in a position that I should be, you know, every day should be a joy. And sometimes you just get so caught up in your own stress that you lose sight of that. So just sometimes literally just stepping back and going, I love this place. I love what I do, and I should be happy about it. And sometimes it's as simple as that to make me go, yeah, just deal with it, Nick, and get on with it, whatever the problem is, and move on.
I think that's definitely an important thing. I mean, we're lucky in that sense that I can just look outside anywhere, and it's a constant reminder that if it wasn't for reselling, I wouldn't have the ability to just up and move up the country. You know, if I was tied down to a career or a job that needed the city or whatever, I wouldn't have that opportunity. You know, it's things like that as well. Like yeah, it's brilliant.
Definitely. I just saw another question there. Mr. Happy Dappy question: if you donate stock, if you donate stock you know that is never going to sell to charity shops, how do you account for it? I don't think you have to. You accounted for it when you bought it, as in, let's say you spent a couple of quid on this, so that's gone through your accounts as stock cost.
Yeah.
Just because you gave it away, you've still accounted for it. It's just a £2 loss to your business, or a £5 loss, or whatever it is. you don't have to account for the fact that you gave it away.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an issue there, mate. This is Mark. I asked last week, what would you do if you weren't doing reselling? And the answers were great. I did realize afterwards that everyone wanted a job which didn't involve a computer or selling. Yeah. I can't remember answering that question. I don't know what I'd do. My degree and my education was in art and filmmaking, so I'd probably try and get back into that. In animation, I've got a degree in animation.
I think I'd like to learn physics.
Never used it.
That was it, yeah. I think that was the one where I said I'd like to just learn physics.
Yeah.
Be like a physics professor.
Diana agrees it pays to be positive and in the right mindset when you're self-employed. Yeah, it does. But all I was kind of saying was that it can be a battle to stay focused and positive, and I struggle with that. I think I always have. I think that's my personality type. I'm very kind of all over the place. I think me and Zaheer maybe are on the similar sort of mental thing. We're kind of all over the place. I know I am, and it's reflected in how disorganized my office always is, because that's how my brain is. It's just a mess.
Yeah, I forget things a lot. You know, it's just not my cup of tea to remember things. I just forget things. Honestly, it's terrible.
I think one of my biggest ones is focusing on a thing and getting that thing done without going over here and going off on a tangent and then starting something else and then starting something else, and before I know it, there's like 5 or 6 jobs on the go, and then chaos sets in and I can't do anything.
Oh, Margaret's in the chat as well, I've just seen.
Oh, hi Margaret.
And Tom.
Cool. Sorry, I'm just reading through.
Yeah, it does shoot up.
Do you ever feel that the pressure to make a living takes the enjoyment out of reselling? Sometimes the financial pressure, if you're under that, can take a certain element of joy out of it, because you're feeling perhaps forced to make X or Y amount of money. For sure, I mean, financial stresses, whether you're employed or self-employed, are always going to be quite tough to deal with sometimes. But the fundamental joy of reselling has never gone for me.
Yeah, I think, I mean, like, we feel that, you know, pretty much every month, because we need to, you know, make our bills, etc. But even the pressure you get to cope with, it's like a learning curve, really. It's putting it in perspective. I mean, we found over the past few months, like, we were worried, but in the end, somehow, like, is it magic? I don't know. We somehow managed to always be okay. And so what we thought to ourselves is, okay, rather than worrying the whole month, let's just keep doing what we're doing and it will be okay.
Yeah.
It's really...
I know what you're saying. It's weird, isn't it?
Weird, because when you're doing it, when you're like focused on, oh my God, I need to make this money, you can build up so much stress on yourself.
Yep.
And you can literally get down to like countdown timers for, oh God, you know, bill X is due, or the rent's due, or this is due, or that's due. Oh God, and the days are ticking down, and you can really build it up for yourself for no reason. And in the end, like, it works, you know.
Yeah, and I think what you realize over time is that all of that energy and focus you were putting on being stressed, you'd have been much better off plowing that energy and focus into reselling, and then it would have
been even easier. Yeah,
quicker.
And often you can just look at your results as well. Like, sometimes you feel that it's really easy to, when you're being kind of judgmental on yourself, or, you know, sometimes it pays to actually look at the numbers, just the cold numbers, because, you know, like you've always said, you know, everyone says it, numbers don't lie. So if you can look at your monthly numbers and be like, well, I did make a decent amount of cash this month from reselling, then you know you've done okay. It might not feel like you've done okay sometimes. I mean, that's a different matter. I mean, sometimes to me, it doesn't feel like I'm doing okay, but I think that's because of other reasons, such as my piss poor money management. You know, it's different things like that.
Yeah.
So
you're right. It's like today, neither Andrea or I have achieved much in the way of reselling, apart from me boxing up that FBA shipment, I haven't really done much, and I've been out, got my hair cut, and bought a laser printer. That's the total sum of my day. But I have to realise, I think I said to you, I did £650 or whatever the other day. So I've covered today.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And it's like, take that pressure off yourself by rewarding yourself with a day where you don't have to do much, and that sort of thing. That's one of the little luxuries we do have.
Saying that, me and Beck have decided tomorrow we're going to just take a day out, like, completely, because this is something we realized that we hadn't done for, I don't even know how long. I can't remember the last time we actually,
you forget to do it. You forget to take time off. It's bizarre.
So it's like, need to do that.
Yeah, you should do. Just trying to keep up with the chat in here.
And Amanda says, my motivation for reselling has never been higher. Sales are up 70% compared to the previous period. So I'm feeling great and pushing myself more and more. Think it's January that will be the challenge. Yeah, I mean, hopefully it will just carry on. Just look at it that way.
Yeah, January can be tough because Christmas has been and gone, and everyone's a little bit down the dumps. But yeah, I think I shared it on the chat that Zaheer and I are in. I wasn't doing much on eBay this time last year. I was all about Amazon, and we had our focus on the shop as well. So in the reseller hub, you get your percentage you're up on last year, and mine was 99% up on last year this week. And I was like, oh yeah, I really wasn't doing much on eBay at this point last year. That was quite a nice statistic.
Andy Soft has a question. Hi guys, strange question. Do you ever feel any guilt when you get a high price on something you got for pennies? I'm a new seller and feel slight guilt. Think I have issues.
I think you'll get over that.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to feel guilty. I mean, who are you feeling guilty for? The charity shop you bought it from or whatever? If you didn't pick that up, another reseller likely would have done. You know what I mean? You're not doing any harm to anybody here. And the person that bought it obviously was happy to pay it because they bought it. So
really, we're like Jedis, because what we do is we bring balance. Because if it is underpriced, it's underpriced to the market. So as a reseller, what you do is you find that an item that is been incorrectly valued, and you give it some value. And in some cases, you'll find something that previously may have not been valued, and you will find its market value. So I think it's like an important function in a way. It's an important function.
I sometimes equate it to like being a magician. You magic money out of thin air, because all you really do is like you get this thing, it cost me £1, and then all you do is you move it over here to its new owner, and suddenly you've magically made £10 appear.
Yeah, and it's like, woo. Well, obviously minus the fees and everything. We want to put that in there before someone says, I mean, like, what I mean, that's the thing. It's like, also it's by selling, for example, on eBay or Amazon, like a big international marketplace, and by saying I agree to take on the risks that involves, i.e., getting lost, damages, returns, whatever, you're also providing an important service, because you're matching these products. You're actually helping them get to people that really want them. Yeah. And those people are more than happy to pay. I mean, I've sold lots of things for a lot more than I paid for them, and in each case, the people that have paid me that massive profit have been very grateful to me. Not they've not been like, oh, you've just made me pay. No, you're not making anyone do anything.
Yeah, and that all comes back to where we started. It's about looking at things in a positive way. You're getting an item to an owner that's going to love it, care for it, really wants it. We're providing an income for ourselves and our family. We're giving money to the tax man. We're recycling. There are so few negatives if you can look at it all in the right way, is how I look at it. So yeah, someone's just said, Jonathan, I've just noticed it seems you bought yourself a printer. Well, that's the one that's going in the bin or to the charity shop, but I have bought a laser printer. I did have the box here somewhere. I'll tell you what it is. It's a Samsung Express M2026, and I love it. It's bloody amazing.
The best thing ever.
I should have done that like years ago.
Diamond D has a question. What would you do with all your stock when you come to retire? I'm not planning on retiring. It sounds horrible.
Yeah, funnily enough, I was chatting to a guy the other night. I can't remember where I was, in the pub somewhere, I think, about the notion of retiring. And it's really bad for some people. If you get to retirement age and you've been a busy person, you've enjoyed your work life, whatever, and then you stop, some people just literally die because they're just, that's the end of it. And I can't see me ending this. I think I'll carry on, even if it's just for fun at that point. You know what I mean? I think reselling is something that I take great pleasure in. So
definitely.
I don't think, and also our generation, I don't think there'll be any money left in the pension pot by the time we get there, unless we provide it for ourselves. So
yeah, exactly. So
it may not be an option.
Spectral Software Design asks, do you get demotivated when listing the same item again and again? I found I need to mix it up, else monotony sets in. Yeah, I mean, you've kind of answered your question there. Definitely. I mean, if you've got yourself a job lot of the same item, it will eventually get boring. I mean, you can always find ways of speeding that up, like by using templates if you're not already. But yeah, mix it up, definitely. I mean, you know, today I've had two of the most awesome and weird pickups, and this is what I love about this job. This morning, I picked up these bad boys. I'm loving. They're like they're called chainsaw trousers.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah.
I think I said to you,
well, they're like trousers with chainsaws in them. like trousers with chainsaws built into them. That would be really cool. It wasn't. It was just regular trousers, really.
Yeah, they're funky.
They've got this kind of fat lining in them, and they're by Steel, which is like a good brand. I paid like £12 from a local Facebook group. If you eBay search chainsaw trousers, you'll see they go for decent money. I mean, often you can comfortably get £50-60 for them, if not more.
That's nice.
That's like a size 42 waist.
Yeah, shall I share something now?
Yeah, go on.
I think I shared this in the hangout we had the other night, but this is really nice. And I know Zaheer is a Michael fan, as is.
That is insanely awesome.
I don't think there's a great deal of value in it, but there was no way I was leaving that. It's a puzzle, and it's vintage 1991. This is the cover from the Dangerous album. It's just a really nice thing.
I think one of Andrea's vlogs should be her speed building that.
Oh yeah, maybe.
And like talking about variety, so that was my pickup in the morning.
Yeah.
I went to auction and picked up a couple of bits, and then literally on the way home, I thought, let's just pop in there. You just pop in there. We normally find something good in there, and I came across this awesome item. It's got British Airways on it, and it's actually like it folds out, and it's got like a hanging bag for your clothes.
Oh, it's a suit bag.
Yes, a suit bag, but you can actually put about 4 hangers into it. It's got like a little clip which can hold like 4 hangers in these little hooks, and it drops down to like full length. And
do you think that's for maybe cabin crew or pilots?
If it is, it could be worth a fair bit. I mean, I paid £4 for it. The only thing I found that was similar, someone sold a cabin crew, like a pilot sold like a cabin crew suit bag. You know those crappy bags that you get when you buy a suit from like M&S or something, just like literally a bag, the thin material, etc. That went on bids for nearly 50 quid, which was pretty insane. And this looks more vintage, like the logo, the British Airways logo. I don't know, it just doesn't look like a,
yeah, that looks nice.
Like an older one, and it's really well built as well. And you know how random.
That looks to me like it was issued for cabin crew or something.
Could well be, and then I think I could get really good money for that. Then I think.
Yeah. I'll tell you one other thing I picked up. I can't see it now. I popped in a charity shop, of course, while I was getting my hair cut. Here we go.
Yep.
Picked up some media. I got another Max and Paddy's Road to Nowhere, which is going straight to Amazon for about 20 quid. They're still keeping their value, and I love this game, and I rarely see it on Xbox. It's worth good money on Xbox. I'm sending this. Well, I wish I'd sent it now, but it's a little bit scratched. It's on the border of not worth worrying about and may cause an issue. but I reckon I could get 20 quid even without the manual on FBA. But it's a
Wow.
couple of marks. But don't know. I might just eBay it to be on the safe side.
Still, that's a lovely.
This on Xbox for some reason is worth a bit more than PS2. So that was nice. 50p.
Now, if you can't see that, I mean, that's the variety you can get with reselling in 4 items there.
Yeah, going back to that question, actually,
Yeah.
we used to do, well, I did nothing but Lego for about 6 to 9 months, and then got burnt out because it was that same product day in, day out. Then Andrew and I did clothing and nothing but for about a year and got burnt out on that. And now we do kind of everything, and that suits. It keeps the interest alive, and we are open to buying just about anything within reason, and that works for us. So yeah, I'd agree with the original question. Let's have a look. Amanda says recently she bought 2 bottles of discontinued perfume in a charity shop on Friday for £5 each. One has sold for 65. That's good. It's quite hard to find, and buyer never would have been able to find it. Well, there you go. So you're providing that service. That buyer will be chuffed to bits, even to pay 65. Everybody's happy. Just had a ka-ching. What was that? It's been quite busy today on eBay, actually. Have you had a good day?
So far, I don't think so. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I don't think so. No. Oh no, it says okay. I'm nearly at £100 for the day.
I've
Nearly.
sold some Duplo, a bundle of Duplo. Oh, and another DJ Hero has gone.
Another one, huh?
Yeah, and some Sennheiser headphones. They're quite good. They're 30 quid each.
Oh, cool.
That job lot is just,
It's just
so pleased I went for that. It's a cash cow. You could say you are an online goods relocator. I like that.
Yeah.
I think that was Darren. Would you ever do storage wars? If so, what would your saying be, i.e. Heavy D's boom? And Darren says Z's would be Bush and Nick's would be Pursuit.
God. Not doing that. Well, I've never.
That's so set up anyway, those stupid. No, Z's would be Shamon.
Okay. Oh, Kath Palmer's had a near miss.
Yeah, I just read that.
Yeah, God.
Well, thank God it was a near miss.
Yeah.
It's awful when you have a near miss. So I get all really shaky afterwards. You know what I mean? When you nearly have an accident, it's awful. Your adrenaline.
It's because it's something that you're so used to doing, like every day, getting out there on the road, whether it's on foot, whether it's in the car, and when something that you do every day suddenly goes really wrong for just a split second, it makes you realize how dangerous it all is, really.
Yeah. And how fragile everything is. You know, one wrong move and doesn't bear thinking about.
We have got 115 people watching.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic.
Noticed. Fantastic. Welcome aboard, everybody. If you have any topics you wanted to talk about or any questions for either of us, don't be shy. Drop them in the chat and we'll try our best to get onto them. If you want to show us your support and click the like button, we always love a bit of that action.
Smash that like button.
Indeed. We're at 26. Let's see if we can push it past 30 now, and then I can shut up about it. 27.
Yeah.
28.
It's getting there. It's getting. Everyone's got to smash the like button. They will do.
29.
Yeah. They're going to stop at 29 there.
Someone's going to go minus 33. There you go. Boom.
Question here from Raz: do you ever try cleaning battery compartments on Nerf guns if they're rusty? Any battery compartment, what you can do is if you get like a bit of bicarb of soda, mix it with a tiny bit of water to make a little paste. You can use like an earbud or something to try to get some green gunk off. Or sometimes if you don't mind, you can sometimes scratch it off, but that does leave scratch marks on the contacts. But you know, it just tidies it up a little bit. I mean, I've sold things with like, you know, not the most perfect battery compartments many times, As long as the item works, most people really don't care.
Yeah, yeah. I tend to just scratch it with a flathead screwdriver,
Yeah,
clean it up, make the contact so it has a crisp
works.
contact on it,
Yeah,
and then take a photograph and describe it.
yeah,
I might try that bicarb thing. That sounds cool. Does that work then?
yeah, yeah. It does. It dissolves the
Nice
kind of.
tip. Uh,
iSmith says, I saw a couple of Nerf guns a few weeks back, but know nothing about them, so didn't buy them. Is there somewhere I could learn about Nerf guns? There are plenty of videos, especially on Nick's channel. Loads of videos about Nerf guns on there.
to be, oh yeah, I've mentioned them many times. I would imagine if you just search Nick Hill's Nerf, it'll come up with a few. But the easiest way, and the easiest way to research most things, is to just do a search on eBay and then click that over to completed listings. So if you just search Nerf gun, it'll bring up all the active ones, which you can learn a certain amount from. But the best thing is to then click completed and then sold, and then you can do them by highest price first, and it'll blow your mind the information you can get within 5 minutes. You'll find out which ones sell for a lot of money, which ones don't sell, what sort of value you can get for bundles. That's all I ever do. Question: when do you leave feedback, before or after they receive your item? I leave it at the moment they've paid. That's all I do.
I've got mine set, so when they leave me feedback, it leaves them feedback.
Okay, is that within eBay?
That's within eBay. So I've got it set so that I don't leave them unless they leave me feedback. Then it leaves them like a response.
I honestly didn't know you could auto set that.
Oh yeah, you can. And I think I don't know why I've done it, but there was a reason at the time. I've forgotten what the reason was, but I've got a feeling it's something to do with being able to just have the right of reply.
Okay.
Yeah,
I might do that then. Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking, and I forgot to mention it. It's more for you, I'd imagine, Zaheer. How do you find the right auctions in London? Is there a website for auction houses or something?
There's auction anywhere in the country. You can go and find these online kind of hubs, which will tell you where your local auctions are. I think the most popular ones are like iBidder and Sale Room, and I don't know. There's probably a couple of others, but most auction houses are signed up to these companies' websites, and they provide like the online auction aspect of their auctions, and they tend to have all like timed online auctions there as well.
Well, I think Google is your friend really for that. I mean, Google will have more information than we could ever provide. Ryan's put in a question about income again. Do you write down every sale in an income book or spreadsheet as you go along, or just rely on exported data? We touched on this before. When you're at any sort of significant scale in reselling, if you were making a note or whatever of every sale you had, it would just take up so much time, and it really isn't necessary. All you need is the numbers, like the total income, total expenditure. So yeah, once a month, download a report from eBay or PayPal, whatever, and print it off. That's more than adequate, I would suggest. That's what we do anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I used to do that as well when I started, and I remember you saying like, yeah, it's not worth it. And I was like, no, I like it. I like having the info. And now I'm like, nah, screw it.
I think we said that for your own personal interest as you go, and it helps you to learn what to not pick up and what worked and what didn't.
Yeah.
Then it's a fruitful exercise. But to keep up with that long term, it's just a waste of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi people, can you sell used products under the global shipping program? Hell yeah. I sell tons of used stuff. Yep. There are some restrictions within the global shipping program. You can find out all that quite easily on eBay, but yeah, used stuff definitely. Gel Sales says, bonsoir, good chat. Would you consider coming to France and doing some eBaying? Yeah, I'd consider most things. I think Tom went over a few months back and picked up some stock. He was over there visiting his parents, was it? I think.
And Caroline, the from Celtic Traders. Her and her hubby often go to France, don't they, and pick up all kinds of quirky items as well, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Amanda's just said that. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just reading. There's so many comments.
Yeah.
And it keeps jumping when I'm trying to scroll. Do you ever sell? This is Rez. Do you ever sell an item and then can't find it? Yes.
Yeah.
It happens. And I think no matter how damn organised you are, because Steve Hicksey had this and he is like total OCD organised, everything in its right place, and he lost stuff.
He found, yeah, it was some Lego, wasn't it? And I think he found it in the end.
Did he? I thought he'd never found it, and he thought he'd thrown it in the bin.
End. No, he found it. It was it was in a jar or something that he'd put it away, but he assumed that it was one of his other items that was in there. So when he shook the jar or something, he did actually have it in the end. So it does pay to be OCD in the end.
I lost. I'll tell you what, I think this was mentioned way back, like a year or so ago in a chat. Oh, my phone's going. Oh, well. Yeah, I lost a Lego pirate ship, like one of the big ones, in a box. So it was about 1.5 feet wide, a thick old box, and I lost it. I sold it for, I don't know, good money, like over 50 quid or whatever. And I found it about 6 months later in the bottom of a box that we'd put a load of clothes in that we had for sale or something like that. It'd all been piled in on top of it in the box. Yeah. But luckily enough, I then relisted it and it sold for way more.
Oh, wow. That's
pretty
cool. Yeah.
You had that with your till, didn't you? That was
good.
Yeah,
that was pretty awesome. Yeah.
You didn't lose it, but...
No, I didn't lose it, but yeah, it was good. I sold it for a lot more second time around, so pretty happy. Where's the reseller asks, would you look at offering previous customers a voucher code for January to help sales? Personally, I'm not sure, because I sell such a random amount, like random bunch of things. Like the only thing I could probably do that with would be something I've got a lot of, which would be like the craft stamps that I've got. But that they seem to be going fine as they are. So,
I suppose it might tempt somebody to then, if they've used you before, so they know they can trust you as a seller, it might tempt them to just browse your store with a 10% off or something. Yeah. But I don't know if you can you generate voucher codes within eBay then?
I think you
Something
can.
else I don't know about.
I think you can. You can do all these weird things, I think. I'm not sure.
Question: how important is it to fill in tracking details to eBay daily? Typing in lots of numbers all the time is a bit tedious. Well, I'll be honest here. I've never done it. And I've not had any problems.
I mean, tracking can come to your rescue in the event of like an item not received.
But you can provide it afterwards during the case.
I think you can provide it after, but if you're using like Hermes, or you're using the Royal Mail, I can't drop and click or click and collect. I don't know, whatever they've got. They've got their own website as well. I use very rarely, as you can tell. Click and drop. Yeah, click and drop it's called. If you use like Hermes or that, or you use like Parcel to Go or whatever, and you synchronize your account with those websites, you won't need to enter in tracking numbers. It does it automatically for you. Every time I post something, the like Hermes website or the Parcel to Go website marks my items as dispatched and puts in the tracking number automatically without me having to do anything. And it does it in bulk. So, all your sales for the day in one go, done. So you don't have to type them in, and it saves, time.
I'll be back in a sec. Somebody's knocking on my door. Hold on.
No worries. Yeah, Ben says, God, where's it going? You only upload the tracking details to the item if I sense a dispute on the horizon. Hi, Steve Hicksey's in the chat. What's up? Hey, Steve. Let's have a look. Gary Dunster says, I've not had one item go missing since using click and drop in the last 4 months. So yeah, it is click and drop, Nick. Gary's just said, yeah, he's not had one item go missing. The thing is, when people say that, I just generally don't have. I mean, I don't want to, like give myself bad luck, but I've not had that issue. Yeah, Hicksy's also in the chat, Nick. I don't know if you've seen.
Hi, Steve.
Popped in Adrian Woods. Good one, Steve. I was going to ask if you guys have a lot of followers for your shop.
Yeah, loads. I think it's just people from my channel finding my store and following it, because it was over 1,000 at last time I looked, which is a bit nuts. That was Amazon, by the way, dropping stuff off. And I just want to share this. My daughter's really into vinyl now, and she's been ordering vinyl. The cost of some of this vinyl blows my mind. She spent £62 on a vinyl LP. Really?
Yeah, it's the youth of today, eh?
Wow. Well, I say she spent them. I spent the money.
Yeah.
I was chatting to the barber today about vinyl, because I was big into it back in the day and got rid of it all. Pretty much. I've still got a little bit of it left, and now my daughter's into it again, and I wish I kept all of mine, because we now have a record player in the house, but I've only got a little bit, which is a shame.
People are asking, what LP was that?
What LP? It was 21 Pilots triple vinyl live album, which was a limited edition. It's probably worth twice what she bought it for already, to be fair. But yeah, quite an amazing thing. And when you open it, it's like a gatefold thing. You know those birthday cards you open and they go, happy birthday to you, and all that? It's got like that in it, but when you open it, you get the concert sounds and them introducing themselves and stuff. Really clever. Never seen that before.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great.
I've got to say, I was surprised when you showed the that Empire magazine. You know, the
with the movie.
Yeah, because I knew everyone was going on about it, but I didn't realize what the big deal was until I was on the chat with you. Because I don't really look at these things, to be honest. I've no clue. I'm like under a rock. And I saw that, I was like, oh my god, it plugs into USB. A magazine that plugs into USB.
I had an issue with one of those that was sent to America. The woman received it, and she said that it had arrived squashed and damaged, and she demanded a refund, which she ended up getting. But I complained because it was sent by GSP, and eBay covered the costs. eBay gave my money back. So yeah, they are good about that. The thing was, I couldn't prove that it wasn't damaged between here and the Derbyshire hub. So I don't know if they open it and check that it's okay before they pass it on. Maybe they do.
Yeah, I don't know, because I had the similar worry, because I had one recently. I can't remember what the item was now, but I was also concerned about that, thinking, but are they, because it tells you to wait until the date that, it tells you to wait before. So you have to wait until it escalates, and then you put in your 2 pence. And I normally I don't like it going that far, obviously.
No, I didn't like not addressing the customer and just waiting the 20. It's a long time, like a couple of weeks or something. Yeah, it's really weird. But then I actually contacted them and just checked that they did actually reimburse it for me, and I got my money back. So I found the PayPal sequence of they were credited, I was credited, and then this happened. It was so confusing. It made no sense to me. So I actually had a chat with eBay, and they said, yeah, we covered the cost. So all good. What have we got in here?
Mark's got a question. When I was working and bought an item on eBay which would not fit through the letterbox, I would try and find one where I could collect from Argos. Is this easy to set up as a seller? Yeah, the Argos click and collect is very easy to set up. It's just a checkbox on the listing page, isn't it? Under your postage, or actually, if you do postage policies, do you do postage policies at all, Nick? Or
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, then they'll be set up in your postage policies. Like it's done.
That's really painless to set up, and it's well worth doing, particularly at this time of year. A lot of people use that. So I've had a load go out this week, and with that as well, I don't know if you do this here, but let's say I sent something to Argos and it's 40 quid's worth of games or whatever. I won't bother sending it recorded, because the Argos employee is hardly going to claim it hasn't arrived.
Yeah.
And then it's checked in at Argos and you've got that paper trail. I use Recorded to cover myself for people saying it hasn't turned up, essentially.
Funny you should say that, but I actually had I think it was a Sims 3 game sent to Argos, and I didn't send it tracked, but I couldn't for the life of me, find out how to get confirmation whether it had been delivered to Argos.
Oh.
Because they don't, because they don't tell you, I don't think, unless you've got like a code. They won't hand it over to the customer unless because the customer gets sent a code that they go to the Argos with, and like I'm guessing the customer never received the code, so it got lost on the way to Argos, or what? I don't know.
Did Argos not send it back then?
I've not had it. I've not had anything.
I had one that was never collected. So
no, this was never received by Argos.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Because it didn't generate like the code, because once they receive it, I guess they must scan it in when they receive it, and then that must generate like the code, which the customer then gets emailed, and the customer goes in, says the code or gives them the code, and they get their item. So I'm guessing I had one. Luckily, it was only like a £10 or £12 game or whatever. I think it was a Sims expansion of some kind or something. But yeah, I had that.
That's my door again.
Oh,
bear with. I didn't know. I don't know whether you have no, my wife didn't do all that anyway. Oh, right.
GSP do repackage, says Darren. Packaging is too large, tatty, or oversized. Interesting. Police again, carol singers. No, there's good guesses for who's at the door. I don't have a clue.
Oh wait, I haven't.
Hide the stuff. Bloody hell. Ryan Brown, okay. Problem with Argos delivery is, as a seller, you never get the barcode yourself, so you can't check to see if the customer has picked up. Yeah, see, that's the issue I had, that because I didn't get, there was no way of me to checking whether they picked it up or not. So,
Sorry, that was the milkman, believe it or not.
Pardon?
That was the milkman. Not that we use a milkman. He was trying to sell me. He was trying to add me to his round.
Fair enough. You got lots of guesses there. Debt collectors, carol singers, police.
Debt collectors.
yeah, it's all coming in.
No, nobody got it right. It was a milkman.
Milkman.
Nobody wins the prize. Damn carol singing police.
Yeah.
Excellent. Did he ring twice? Ah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just reading those comments. Right, how are we doing? We've
gone over.
Should we wrap up for the week?
Yeah,
or?
I think so, yeah. 130 people watching, so pretty impressive.
Cool. Well, next week we're going to be trying this Christmas special Prices Right. That is next week, isn't it? No, am I getting ahead of
next week, 20th.
Yeah, 20th. So if you guys are around this time next week, we'll have some esteemed guests, and we will play some silly games, and you guys can join in. So until then, thanks ever so much, Zaheer, for spending your time with me. Appreciate it.
Not at all.
And thanks for everybody chatting with us and giving us some questions. If you did enjoy it, please click the like button, give us a thumbs up. We managed to get to, where are we? 66 currently. That's not bad. So yeah, thanks for everybody, and we will catch you soon.
Right, see you later.
Bye.